You know what? Maybe you can just take, we can do it all Torah Sheba'al Peh, or you can have Chumashim in front of you, and we'll talk a bit about Megillat Ruth.
Oh.
Okay? That was the plan also with the Mareh Mekomot, but no, Bezrat Hashem, maybe next week. Okay. If you want, you can just take Chumashim. If not, it's really, we will read the Psukim and we can analyze it together, but if you want, it's all yours, Bemet and Ba'aya. Okay. So, when you think about Megillat Ruth, many things come to mind, and many shiurim that I'm sure you already heard so many times about Megillat Ruth and why is it important and what's the connection to Shavuot and to David HaMelech. Okay, I think this is not what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about really the beginning. Let's talk about the beginning of the Megillah. So, it says like that. ויהי בימי שפוט השופטים, ויהי רעב בארץ, וילך איש מבית לחם יהודה לגור בשדה מואב, הוא ואשתו ושני בניו. Okay. What I would like to do is, really it's a teaser for what I'm going to do Bezrat Hashem on Leil Shavuot between Mincha and Mariv here, like prior to the Chag, like Erev Chag. But it's a teaser for almost every story in Tanakh. Sometimes when you read Tanakh and you see it as an entire picture, you see that there are many psukim that are very similar to each other, or the story is being staged in contradiction, or as a complementary story to something that was already in a different story. And it obviously begs the question of, okay, why is it? Why do they use this almost the same wording or the same expressions? What's the connection between this story and the other story? So I had something interesting that I will share with the Kehillah Bezrat Hashem in 2 weeks or whatever it is. But today, let's see and let's do it together. Okay, let's do an exercise. The word Vayehi, we all know Chazal has something to say about the word Vayehi. Tamid ze Sh'at Tzara. Okay, Vayehi b'mei Achashverosh. Okay, so, but we have two things here. B'imei Shfot HaShoftim, when the judges are being judged. Okay, that's interesting. But I am more interested in Vayi Ra'av Ba'aretz. Okay, trivia question. When is the first time we know about Vayi Ra'av Ba'aretz? Avraham, we learned it together, right? And with putting in Sarah in danger. And basically, when you have Ra'av Ba'aretz, what do?
Go to another land.
You go to another land, right? Avraham went to Mitzrayim, and we had the discussion if he did the right thing or not the right thing. Okay, that's one. Second is, there was another famine at the time of Yitzchak. Before Yosef, Yitzchak, one by one. Avraham, Yitzchak planned to go to Mitzrayim or to Plishtim, and Hashem says to him, what? No, ata tshar po. You stay here, right? So basically, the natural reaction of Ra'av, of a famine in the land, is what do? You leave. Now, we know, based on Tanakh, we know that when there is famine, where did our leaders went to?
Usually
Mitzrayim or Plishtim. Right? Mitzrayim or Plishtim. Now, why? It might be because it was closer. Maybe it was enough food there, they could hear that there is food. Okay, even then later on with Yosef, when there is a famine in Canaan, Yaakov says, Shamati ki yesh shever b'Mitzrayim. I heard that there are some supplies in Mitzrayim, so you should go there. Okay? Here, you would expect, ויהי בימי שפוט השופטים ויהי רעב בארץ, וילך איש מבית לחם יהודה למצרים, או לגרר. But he goes to where? לגור בשדה מואב. Now, it's also interesting, with Avraham, it says, ויהי רעב בארץ, וירד אברהם מצרימה. Does it say לגור שם? No. He goes there to buy food, eat some food, and then come home. Here is lagur. Now, interestingly enough, it's also Bizdei Moav. What is Sde Moav? In the fields of Moab. You would expect Lagur Be-Moav, in the country, the name Moab, where the Moabites are. So we see something interesting. And this is without any commentary, nothing, just to read the narrative itself. When you look at the narrative itself, what comes to mind is, there is Vayelech Ish. Ish is always a language of what? Of
Ish Chashuv.
Ish Chashuv, Nachon, Aish Moshe, Aish Mordechai, okay? The word Ish, or even Moshe and Yehoshua, that's in Brachot, in Undaled, Avnei El Gavish. What is Avnei El Gavish? So the Gemara says, Sheyardu al Yedei Ish, Vayu al Gav Ish, which is Moshe and Yehoshua. That's what the Gemara talks about. So Ish is Lashon Chashivut. So you have an important person who leaves the country, and he is from Beit Lechem Yehuda. Do you hear the cynicism here? Beit Lechem. I'm not talking about the street here. Beit Lechem, a house of bread, and there is famine, and he goes to where? Sde Moav. Now, Moav, the first association that comes to mind when we talk about Moav is what?
Lot. Lot and his daughters.
Okay, so first we know the origin of the name. Not exactly something that we are so very proud of, okay? And by the way, she had zero embarrassment. The second daughter at least called him Ammon. Okay, so when you ask who is the father, you say Hammon. But, that's Ein. But with her, she was very direct. Me'av. This is from my father. So, that's the first association. What's the second association that we know with Moav? They didn't come out to give bread and food to us. Why would you expect them to do it?
Because they were related.
They are related. That's your expectations from everyone you are related to? You want to go through their country, you want to conquer, they think that you want to conquer them. Why would you expect them to give you coffee, tea, and cold drinks?
Business transaction.
Oh, maybe it's some kind of mischar, right?
Destroy them.
The what?
They don't want you to destroy them.
They don't want you to destroy them. Explain a bit.
You can't at least hold this, otherwise, watch out.
Okay, very good. So basically, but we were disappointed that they did not give us food and water. Now, not every Jew, but my assumption is the Jews at that time, they didn't know Mishnah and Gemara. You know why? Didn't exist yet. So they knew some of the stories of the traditions. And I would assume that this tradition of at least Bil'am, the magician, who was hired by Balak, Melech Moav, and this entire story is a known story in the tradition. Okay? Why? Because it's a nice story. It's a beautiful story. I'm sure it passed on by generations. So if there is famine, where would you go? You go to a nation that even when they had the opportunity to do something nice, never did it. Why would you go there? So it's odd. It's very strange. So you see that there is some kind of a contrast between Bethlehem, Oni, poverty, famine, and then you go to Moav, and you gar b'sde Moav, hu ve'ishto u'shnei vanav. So he goes with his wife and his two children. Now, before we continue, also I will say the structure of the sentence is also a bit odd. It should have said probably, Vayelech ish mi Bethlehem Yehuda, hu ve'ishto u'shnei vanav, vayagor b'sde Moav. You see what's going on here? It's the ish. He makes the decision to because of the famine, to leave, to find the location for dwelling. And then it seems to be that his wife and his children are what? They tag along. What we call in Hebrew, nigrarim. It seems to be that the pasuk is like crying out, saying to you what? They didn't want to do it. But he is the father of the family, he's the balabait. Okay, he makes those decisions. And definitely he didn't suffer from low self-esteem, he's a ish. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, even if I don't know anything about Megillat Ruth, I would ask myself, Rega, is that the only family that left? Or many people left and just we pick on that family because of the story? Or just he left? What would you say based on the pasuk itself?
It sounds like he was the only one.
It seems to be that was the anomaly. Like the Tanakh highlighted this idea So basically, what is the Tanakh trying to highlight for us? That there is an important man from Bethlehem, Yehuda. Yehuda, the association is what? Leadership, royalty, all of that. And he lives, and he goes lagur b'sde Moav, his wife, and two of his children. Okay. מה? נכון מאוד, יפה מאוד, good catch, very good. When you say איש מבית לחם יהודה, it's almost like ויקח וילך איש מבית לוי, ויקח את בת לוי, which means there is somewhat of importance, but also a beginning of something. Very good. By the way, as a side note, when you have time, and I would assume you have time, take the Tanakh without any mefarshim and try to see what the psukim can tell you. And then you can look at the psukim. Many of the things that comes up are in the mefarshim. Okay, second pasuk. V'shem ha'ish Elimelech, v'shem ishto Naomi, v'shem shnei banav Machlon v'chilyon Efratim מבית לחם יהודה, ויבואו שדה מואב ויהיו שם. Okay, so now we have the name of the person, which is interesting. Like, why do you spend another sentence? You could say, וילך אלימלך, ואשתו נעמי ושני בניו מחלון וכליון, ויגורו בשדה מואב ויהיו שם. But we don't do it. We first start with like an introduction. There is an ish, and then take a look at the names. His name is Elimelech. I can imagine what the Mohel says at the giving of the name. May God be with him. He will be a king. He will be a king of God. God will bestow blessings upon him. This is a meaningful name, Elimelech. It's not Lamech, okay? It's Elimelech. So this is a really, really, משהו, באמת a wonderful name. ושם אשתו Naomi. What Naomi brings to mind?
I read somewhere that all the names in Tanakh are not really names that were actually given to the people.
Might be.
These are names that come to teach us something. So every name is
Comes with some kind of a... So Elimelech seems to be there is a potential for kingship and for God. And what is Naomi?
pleasant.
Pleasant, right? Seems to be Naim, it's pleasant. Okay, Drachea, Darchei, Noam. Okay? Neimot bimincha netzach. Okay? Every time in Tanakh it says Naim, Neima, Naomi, whatever, it's pleasant. So you have a king with God, or God's king, and his wife is Naomi, and you would think that the children's names will be, I don't know, Mashiach, Inon, but the names, Machlon v'chilyon.
Means destruction.
Okay, Machlon is a machla, okay, it's like a machala, it's disease, plague. The kilayon is destruction, total annihilation, like in the most severe way. So it might be that those names were given to them after what's happened to them, or alternatively, when Elimelech saw what's going on in Eretz Israel, and then he had his children, he says, what? This is the end of us. We are done. Everyone who was on my Monday night was yesterday. Yeah, Monday night was last night. Monday night shiur about the dry bones of the vision of Yechezkel. Understand that sometimes you have people who say what? Avda tikvatenu, nigzarnu lanu. Hopeless, we are done. And in order to illustrate it, I'm going to call my children's name, says Elimelech, Machlon v'kilyon, Gaman. Or, alternatively, based on the future, like we know, for example, with Noach. Noach was named for the future. Peleg ki beyamav niflega haaretz. Okay, so sometimes you give a name based on some kind of a prophecy. Okay? Not only Bethlehem. Add another question. Efratiyim. So, מה זה אפרתיים? So the what? אז מה הם עושים אצל יהודה? Who else was called אפרתי? What does it mean אפרתי? מה זה? אני לא שומע. אלקנה. Okay, what do we know about Elkanah?
He went up to
His wife's name, we don't care about so much about Elkanah. His wife's name was Hannah, and that gave us Shmuel. Okay, Tfilah, it's also nice, but we are interested in the Shmuel, and Shmuel gave us Shaul and David. Not that he was their father, but he appointed them to be kings. Okay, so the word Ephrati is Bethlehem Yehuda is Tzanchanim. Ephrati is Sayeret. Okay, it's a more elitistic group. And it's interesting that it says, Im Shnei Banav Machlon V'Kilion Ephratiyim. Now it's like the entire gang are Ephratiyim. And then Vayavo Sdei Moav, and they came to Sdei Moav, Vayusham. Interesting. He came Lagur Sham, and they come to what? Lihiyot Sham. What is Lihiyot? To be. Like, that's going to be basically our place. We are done with Eretz Israel. We relocated. This is the right word. We relocated now. Now we live in Sdei Moav. Vayu, so it's interesting. The Torah, even in Mitzrayim, it says Lagur ba'aretz banu. Right? Lagur is from the word girut, some kind of girut. Liyot sham is to be there. There is a word lihishtakea, but not sure that it's used in Tanakh. Not sure. Okay. Yes.
He wanted to do better for his family. He looked into the future and he felt that there's going to be food there. If he's looking back, his family's going to die here if there's nothing to eat.
The problem is that will. The question was, maybe we just put it such a negative spin. Maybe it's a good spin. The guy saw there is famine, there is no way that I can feed my family, I'm leaving. The problem is, and that relates to one of my questions before, it seems to be that this is the only family that left. Now, you can be the smartest guy ever, and all of them are dummies, and they will stay and die, and I'll save myself. However, we know that Bichlal, there is an idea of doing things together as a kehila, and B, it says Vayirav ba'aretz, there was famine in the land, and I don't know how many years, and I don't know how tough it was. I mean, we know that when Eliyahu, for example, decreed famine, people died. It was terrible. So I don't know how many years there was famine. Chazal trying to figure out when exactly, because we know Sefer Shoftim, okay, and we need to know when exactly there was famine there. So maybe look, if it was a famine for 3 weeks and he lose hope and he leaves, he's a terrible person. If it's 3 years of famine and he's trying, maybe we can come up with some kind of a positive spin. However, it seems to be that he is the one, and an important person. You leave, you definitely create an impact.
Sham though refers, says the Gur Sham, but I read it over again, we read it carefully, the entire family they use Sham. In other words, originally he said Gur, then you read it again, the whole same family, they use Sham, not just children. Him also, even though he came Gur, they use Sham, which means it's transitory, it's not going to be there long.
That they will be there long. You say? No. Not? Who said it?
I'm saying.
You're saying, so I would just say, I'll take you in a sec. I would just say that it seems to be Vayagor, Lagur ba'aretz banu, which means we just came temporarily, but Vayusham, not only that. You remember Pesach? What is the Baal Haggadah says about Vayusham? Lelamdecha shehayu metsuyanim sham. Meaning they became part of society, mamish. So now we have another proof that Vayusham is, they dwell there. Yes?
But was he like a leader of his community? The others were poor, they're coming to him. We need your help, we need this. We know he's wealthy, his sons married princesses.
Not yet.
So, but I mean, it's like, enough of these people, this place is going nowhere, I'm out of here, I want to be in a better society. I don't want the responsibility of being a leader. Like,
Right, that's
you
why
have
he
people
was
now,
merciless.
like Prince Harry, we don't want to be part of the royal nation anymore. We're done with it. So they just leave and give up their responsibility.
Okay, so again, why not to put a positive spin? Like maybe he was enough. He supported his community for a year, okay? And they are nudnikim, and they come again and again and says, you know what, Maspik, die, enough, I'm leaving. Probably we expect more. We expect more. Yes, one more.
He went to Moab, and he didn't go to Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is not depending on the rain. Moab is exactly like Eretz Israel. It is dependent on rain. Therefore, he didn't go to a better place.
Okay, so geographically, now again, we are not sure exactly where.
Mitzrayim is a breadbasket of whole area. So that's where we go.
Right. So that's what we mentioned at the beginning, but also the comment was, why would you go to a place that is basically also heavily dependent on rain when you have Mitzrayim that has the Nile River, and they never suffer from, I don't know if they never suffer, but they don't suffer as much as others. Okay. So, okay, one more וזהו, כן. My office hours are only tomorrow.
Pasuk is structured, and if he's the only one leaving, then it shows it's the Gnai. He doesn't have no bitachon that Hashem will give him OUIsrael.
That's what I think prompted the rabbis to look at him in such a negative way. And I do appreciate that they attempt to try to shed some positive light on him. But it seems to be that from the fact that we highlighted Dafka, this family, and this guy, we initiated everything, it's Legnai. Okay, so now let's go. וימות על אלימלך איש נעמי, ותישאר היא ושני בניה. So he dies, and it's only Naomi, and Machlon and Kidion. So they are not married yet. What would you expect them to do?
Go back.
Go home. Go home. Especially if they were dragged there, go home. You have a family support in Yefratiyim, Bethlehem, Yehuda. No. Yes.
I think she was embarrassed.
The what?
I think he was embarrassed.
Oh, rega. So before the speculations, so they decided to stay. We will need to understand why did they decide to stay. But it's not only that they decided to stay, they decided to what? To integrate into the Moabite society. They basically wrote a bill of divorce to OUIsrael. They are not going back. They are not interested in going back. I don't know exactly the dynamic between the children and Naomi, but they, ויסעו להם נשים מואביות.
What's the Ish Nami in here? We know he's an Ish Nami.
Yeah, we can go word by word. I need to move on a bit. I agree with you. Yes, we can have a question on each one of them. ויסעו להם נשים מואביות, שם האחת עורפה ושם השני רות, וישבו שם כ10 שנים. So, רגע. We don't know anything about Orpa and Ruth. I know what Chazal say. not talking about Chazal now. First, the word Vayisu lahem, Nashim. Association?
They gave them oh no.
First, in Torah, when I want to describe marriage, what word do I use?
להתחתן.
לקחת, כי ייקח איש אישה. Okay? Wait one second, I just need to see if the wording is the same. רגע, שנייה. The what? Look at Sefer Bereshit. It says, ויקחו להם נשים מכל אשר בחרו, even with that not Jewish. So that's not the issue. The issue is, there are two issues. The word לקחת is like, okay, you know what? Hagar and Ishmael. You remember the pasuk? ותיקח לו הגר אישה מבנות מצרים. She is the one to take it for him, meaning she is the one to make the shidduch. Here is ויסעו להם נשים מואביות. They are the ones to make the decision to what to marry. The one is Orpa. Now the word Orpa, I don't think that was her name. Okay, and also Ruth, we're not sure that was her name. It definitely doesn't sound like I mean, I don't speak Moabite, but I don't think it sounds Moabite. But Orpa and Ruth. Okay, so Orpa. So immediately the thing is Oref. Now, Oref, what is the association with Oref? Kshe Oref. Kshe Oref. Which means what? Akshan, stubborn, but also it's a good quality that we have. We will never be able to survive without it. It's annoying, but it helps us to survive. What is Ruth? Okay, so the Gemara has something to say about it, but in terms of the association, מה זה Ruth? Don't know anything about her. וישבו שם כ10 שנים, and they dwelled there for almost 10 years. וימותו גם שניהם, מחלון וכליון, so they both die, ותישאר האישה משני ילדיה ומאישה. Now we need to ask, why doesn't he say, ותישאר Naomi? Now, the same thing that we say ish לשון חשיבות, we might say that what? אישה is also לשון חשיבות. So ותישאר האישה, and she is strong and she is important, משני ילדיה ומאישה. So she is alone, but only her daughters-in-law. And here, the beginning of the transformation. Yes?
Why did they die?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Heart attack. I don't know. Really? Leave Chazal. I know why they die according to Chazal. Leave Chazal. I mean, we obviously love Chazal, but I'm saying, leave them alone now. Let's read. The fact that the Torah does not say anything, the Tanakh does not say anything, it's probably not important. For example, with Er ve'onan, because that's the immediate association when you have two children die. So who lost two children? Yehuda and Aaron. Right? With both of them, we have semi-explanation. Vaya Sarah b'nei Hashem with Er ve'onan. With Esh Zara, with Nadav and Avihu. Here, they died. They didn't play any role. They died. So she's alone. Now, it's pretty simple that what? That what would she do? She'll go back. En la klum. She has nothing. So she will definitely go back. What about the daughters-in-law? The most natural thing for them to do what? Go home too. ותקום היא וכלותיה. So she rise with her daughters-in-law. ותשוב משדה מואב. And she comes back from Sde Moab. כי שמעה בשדה מואב. Because she heard while she was in Sde Moab. כי פקד השם את עמו. That Hashem what? Remembered his Am, his nation. לתת להם לחם. To give them bread. Now, רגע. When did she hear? Did she hear at the end of the 10th year? Or she heard it already in the 3rd year, but she couldn't leave. Why? Because her boys, because of her sons, or because of the father, or because, meaning she wanted to, but she was not able to. Or she basically did not want to move either. But because she heard that what? There is food there too. So you know what? Why should I be a foreigner here? I'll go back to my nation, to my country. So, ותצא מן המקום אשר הייתה שמה. That's interesting. What does it mean that she left the place that she was there? This is such a crooked way to say, ותקום, here, I'm going to be שמואל הנביא. ותצא משדה מואב, ושתי כלותיה עמה, ותלכנה בדרך. What does it mean? ותצא מן המקום אשר הייתה שמה.
Yeah.
The what?
Oh, yeah.
ויצא יעקב. Might, okay.
Reminds you when it says by you Shama.
Okay, the word shama, shama, there is no question. זה בטוח. זה בטוח. Now, when we say, ותצא מן... What?
Took herself out of the place.
Oh. So you need to create some kind of a drasha here. ותצא מן המקום, similar to ויצא יעקב מבאר שבע. ותצא מן המקום, obviously when she goes, is she יצא, right? If it would say, let's erase this thing. כי פקד השם את עמו לתת להם לחם, ותלך נעמי לשוב אל ארץ ישראל. זהו. What does it mean ותצא מן המקום? She in a way got rid of the place. She did not want to be there, not only geographically, but also psychologically, emotionally, whatever you want to call it. ותצא מן המקום אשר הייתה שם ושתי כלותיה עמה ותלכנה בדרך. If I was a teenager, I would say, da, like, no, ברור, מה, ותלכנה בדרך. So where did they go? They didn't go through space, they went בדרך. ותלכנה בדרך. Where else do we have דרך? ולא נחם אלוקים דרך ארץ פלישתים. עמלק בדרך בצאתכם ממצרים. What is the idea of דרך? A process on the road, which means it's just the beginning of some kind of a journey. So ותלכנה בדרך לשוב אל ארץ יהודה. Going back to ארץ יהודה, which that's what they know, that's their place. עכשיו. So they are walking together, and she at least believes that she can be taken care of with her family, with her קהילה, okay. ותאמר נעמי לשתי כלותיה. So Naomi says to two of her, the two daughter-in-laws, לך נא, שוב נא, אישה לבית אמה, יעש השם עמכם חסד, כאשר עשיתם עם המתים ועמדי. Go, return, which is obviously repetitive. Go and return. A woman to her mother's house, and Hashem will do chesed with you, like you did with the dead people and with me. What is she talking about? So probably the fact that they stayed with her while their husbands died and their father-in-law Elimelech died. So maybe that's what she meant. Or maybe something else, that they did some kind of chesed with her. I don't know what. But she says basically, Hashem can repay you for what you did. ותאמרנה לה, לא, רגע. The what?
It's a funny way of saying it. It said, my dead son, why don't you say you did it with my children?
So maybe with my children while they were alive. She wanted to say that even after they died, they stayed with her. Instead, the first thing that they will do, who wants to stay with his mother-in-law when there is no reason for that, right? So basically, that was quick. Just said it quickly. I just passed over, and no one said a poop. No one said anything. So yes.
She's saying, thank you very much for taking care of me all these years. And now I'm going back to my country. And it's time for you to go back to yours.
Yeah, the only question is what kind of chesed exactly did she do? Did they do? Yes.
Sounds like the thought came to her on the way.
The what?
The idea they should go back. She didn't think of this when they left.
Oh, okay, good. There is a very interesting point. They both stand up together, those three, and they start walking. In the derech, she says to herself, whoa, what am I doing? Like, how am I going to take care of them? They should go home. Yes.
Just interesting. They don't mention about how long they were there when the sons died.
No.
Then they didn't have any children. Many details.
Right.
Then you would think, since they write so many details, they might have.
Exactly. The question, not for today, is why obvious details that you would think will be written there are skipped over, and then some other details that you can go to sleep tonight without worrying about them are there. Okay? So it's not only what's there, but it's also what's not there. Yes?
The idea,
Like-
every time it says Vatakam, a new beginning, and she's not including them in it, it just says Vatakam, it's just singular. So she's thinking about herself, that this is what she has to do.
Okay. Hold that thought for just a second. I hope I'm going to burst your bubble. Okay? So just a second. Now, not yours. All of you. About perception on Naomi. ותאמרנה, ויתן השם לכם ומצאנה מנוחה אישה בית אישה ותשק להם ותישאנה קולן ותבכנה. Hashem will find for you rest, and everyone will find a husband, and she kissed them, and they all cried together. And it sounds like Naomi really deeply cared for them, right? I can take care of you, you should be taken care of, go. I don't think about myself, right? Many people read it in a way that Naomi is so altruistic and she really cares about them. And it might be that Naomi says to herself, I can't take care of them. I'm embarrassed by them. I don't want them. They are a constant reminder for my dead children and for the women that they took. I don't want them. let them go back, let me start again, and that's vatakom, and not vayakumu, but rather vatakom. She basically raised herself up, and then, no, go home, settle, you don't need to come with me. Now, let's continue. ותאמרנה לה, no, כי איתך נשוב לעמך. Interesting. The word לעמך, it seems to be that they know where she comes from, and they are somewhat attracted to the fact that she is from Am Israel, which is interesting. There was not too much of a love between Moab and Israel ever in Tanakh. And they say, we want to go, not just to go with you, but le'amech, to your nation, which means we understand we will need to what? To act like your nation. ותאמר Naomi, שובנה בנותיי, now she talks to them as בנות, not כלותיה, now my daughters. למה תלכנה עמי? Why would you go with me? What's the benefit? העוד לי בנים במאה, I want to have children, והיו לכם לאנשים, and you will marry them. I cannot provide you anything. שובנה בנותיי, לכנה. Do you see the change? The beginning it says לכנה, שובנה. Now it says what? שובנה, לכנה. Okay? Obviously we understand that one is more of a geographical, topographical return, and one is just emotional, psychological, or even might be even religiously. Meaning it might be that when they married Machlon and Kilion, they converted somehow, and in a way Naomi says to them, release it, leave it, go home. Just, you will never fit. Move back. שובנה בנותיי לכנה כי זקנתי להיות לאיש. I'm not going to get married again, כי אמרתי יש לי תקווה, because if I would, I would tell you, maybe I will get pregnant, you can have children. גם הייתי עלה לאיש וגם ילדתי בנים. עליהן תסברנה עד אשר יגדלו, עליהן תעגנה לבלתי היות לאיש, על בנותיי כי מר לי מאוד מכם כי יצא ביד השם. Oh, okay. She says to them, look, I'm not going to get pregnant, but even if I would, what, do you want to wait another 13, 14, 15, 16 years until I will have children? Until they will be able to marry you, leave it alone, go home. But then she says, Al bnotai, please, my daughters, now, daughter-in-laws, but daughters, please, don't nudge me anymore. כי מר לי מאוד מכם. מה זה מר לי מאוד מכם?
I'm bitter for you.
I am very bitter from you. What does it mean?
Your presence makes me bitter.
Okay, one interpretation, your presence is not exactly enjoyable, okay? The what? The what?
Because of you.
Because of you. This is horrible. She's accused. I'm not saying that this is the only interpretation. I want to understand the ambiguity in the pasuk. You say, Kimali meod mikem. What is mikem? If I want to say, I look at you and I'm bitter and I'm sad, it should say what? Kimali meod biglal ma shekara lachem. Because you are widows. If I want to say that it's almost like because of you, I might say, not that it's the only way to say it, mikem. So you can interpret it in two ways. Mima shekara lachem, or mima shekara biglalchem. If my children would not marry you, I was they will still be alive, or maybe I will be able to convince them, look, you can't find any girls here, let's go home. So you, in a way, are the reason and the cause for my bitterness and for my sadness. And then there is another one. No, I look at you and my heart cringe. Nice daughters-in-law, you were great to my children, and I'm so sad that this is the situation with you. You are young widows, and I'm telling you, there is no hope in Eretz Israel for you. No one is going to look at you, go home. Different interpretations, bechavana. That's the ambiguity of Tanakh, yes?
Also, I am more
negative situation than me can. I'm more depressed, I'm more sad than you are. You don't need to be around my son.
Okay, that's a very nice psychological modern, meaning I'm in such a mental state that it's not going to help you. Go away. meaning I'm a bad influence. I'm a bad influence. I can't give you tikva at all. Not physically, not spiritually, not emotionally, not psychologically. Okay, interesting. Do you see how many interesting views we can have on the beginning? And then, interesting, I'm just thinking about the association. ויאהב גם את רחל מלאה. What does it mean? More. The Natzif says that after what Rachel did, giving the signs, he loved Rachel even more because of what she did. מלאה, from what she did to לאה. Okay. כי יצאה ביד השם. Oh. כי יצאה ביד השם. First association is what? Who is famously always says, כי יצאה ביד השם? איוב. איוב. Naomi feels like Eov. Job. She lost everything. She lost her husband, she lost her children. She has no children. She has no money, probably. So she understands that that's some kind of a punishment. So you have a woman who lost everything and she feels that what? It's a punishment for something that was done. Now, what did she do? What can we blame her for? What can we accuse her for not doing something?
She wasn't proactive.
Was not proactive. Very good. She, like a good Yiddish mame, if she thinks that what? It's not the right place for us, what do? You woke up and you wake up and you tell your husband, להתראות.
But he's a control freak. She couldn't.
You know what? But after he died, she has 2 unmarried children. Take them by the hand and
Return.
take them home. By the way, she corrected her personality a bit. When the story evolves, she becomes very proactive. She sends Ruth, this is the field of our relative. And then you dress up, you go to the shower, you put a perfume, you go, you tell him, you don't tell him, She is very proactive. Things change. It's very interesting to see how the Megillah changed the heroes and changed personalities.
But maybe she couldn't be proactive while the husband wasn't.
After he's gone, the 2 children are not married, you are quote unquote the Baalat Bait. Okay. ותישאנה קולנה, ותבכנה עוד. So they raise their voices and they continue to cry. נו, בסדר. ותשק עורפה לחמותה, ורות דבקה בה. If we stop here, so Ruth gave her a big kiss, big hug, and she went back. And what does it say? עורפה. And Ruth דבקה בה. Now, it's interesting. First and foremost, if you don't know the story, who is the most logical person here? Orpah. She showed love, she showed commitment. She was told 3 times, go home. And she realized, Naomi is right. So I need to go back. So I need to give her a kiss. And זהו, גמרנו. That's the last time I'm going to see her probably. ורות דבקה בה. You could say, ורות נשארה איתה. She stayed with her. ורות הלכה איתה. And Ruth went with her. What is davka? That's the word of devek, glue. She glued herself to her. She attached herself to her. Now that's obviously a very strong connection. Now where else do we have the word davka? Oh, the first time we have is על כן יעזוב איש את אביו ואת אמו, ודבק באשתו והיו לבשר אחד. They become one. Ruth becomes one with Naomi. And that's a very early stage. Ruth makes that decision, from whatever reason, we don't know, to stick, to glue herself to Naomi. Yes?
Even religiously, you see that they had converted in order to marry. It's not about the conversion. But afterwards, after the death, she then decides to stay and follows all the commandments, then retroactively the conversion is abundantly okay. So here we see that she's now Jewish.
The only thing is, where exactly they converted? In Moab.
Right.
Yeah. Unless they did it on Zoom, which was fine. So, yes.
The understanding is just interesting.
I can't hear you.
At this point, that Torah, we don't know, we haven't seen Naomi as being an issue.
Oh, יפה מאוד. Thank you very much. You led me to my next sentence. You know, if I will tell you I am going to glue myself to הרב whoever, okay? הווה מתאבק באפר רגליהם. He's an אישיות, he's a personality, he's a scholar. He is not a scholar, but he's such a good person that Okay, what do we know about Naomi? Gurnish mit gurnisht. Nothing. No personality, no ability to speak up, no influence on the family even with one iota. Why would you glue yourself to a loser? Sorry.
What a description.
You can tell me where Naomi exactly is a winner? In this, she is Be'ezrat Hashem, but not today. Today you'll go home and you will say, Rabbi Shai said that Naomi is not the greatest personality. I don't know. So, the thing is, she has nothing to show for, klum. The mothers in Tanakh, Sarah, makes a decision, a historical decision. Ishmael should go away.
Yeah.
She has a fight with Abraham. Hashem has to intervene. Rivka, she can't speak up exactly, but she manipulates everything. Rachel goes to Yaakov, she says, Hava li banim v'im ayin meta anochi. Leah goes to Rachel and she says, Ameat kachtech et ishti v'lakach gam et dudai beni. Everyone can speak up. Hannah speaks up. Everyone speaks up. Every mother knew how to speak up. Naomi, klum.
Maybe because she was losing. She felt sorry.
Who told you that?
She felt you did. She felt sorry for her. Quote you. Maybe she felt that she wanted to stay with her dafka because she was.
Oh, interesting. יפה. Maybe because Ruth felt that Naomi is a basket case. What do you call her? I mean, she lost her husband. She lost two of her children. She has no grandchildren. She has nothing. Who knows how she's going to be accepted in Eretz Israel? Ruth says, you know what? I'm taking care of her. Meaning, because of what? Of the feelings of, oh my gosh, she's a miskena. Mamish miskena. Who is going to look at her? And she herself, by the way, Naomi says to herself, to them, I'm old. No one is going to marry me. I'm not going. Basically, I'm going to die alone. So Ruth says to herself, I can't do that. I can't allow her to be alone. I am going to be there. So it's not because of her personality, but exactly because of her lack of personality. Yeah, because Ruth felt bad, and she took her as a case. What do you call it? What do you know what I'm talking about?
Not known.
Rega. Yes. Who wrote Ruth? It depends who you ask. It depends who you ask. If you ask Chazal, it's Shmuel. If you ask Chokrei Mikra, it's not Shmuel. But it was around the Second Temple, which Shmuel obviously was hundreds of years before. Yes?
She also seems to love Anei Chavi, that she really wants to be part of the Jewish people in this photo.
Oh, it might be. The only thing is, why do you want to go with Naomi?
Because she's the representative in this one, though.
And what kind of... But ask yourself, what kind of a representative is she? What, she has an Israeli flag on her door? Like, what does she have? Klum. Rega. Until this pasuk, that's where we are. Now let's continue. Oh, wow. רגע, צריך להפסיק, no? I need to stop now, no? No, I think they told me to stop at 1:10, but I don't listen to them. They don't listen to me. I send them מראה מקומות, I don't listen to them. So let's do one more pasuk and then we'll conclude because we have mincha. So, you know what? No, because of mincha we need to conclude. Okay, you know what? I think next week, Bezrat Hashem, I'm not sure if we need the source sheets or not. We'll have them, why not? But we'll have it. זהו להיום.